Matt A. Matt, are you talking? I can't hear you.
Oh, that's probably because my headset was muted. I always do that.
It's all right, man. What's going on?
Oh, just.
Oh, Lord. No, what? Nope. I'm sorry I asked. I'm sorry.
Whatever the hell this is. This is fun, isn't it?
Not bad, actually.
Hey.
Oh, it's not the worst. I mean, I didn't watch the whole first half, but, I was busy.
You didn't watch the first half. Come on.
I was busy, man. I had stuff to do.
Okay.
I had stuff to do. I don't miss board games unless it's important.
Oh, my God. Javonte. I like him.
I do, too.
And, hey, he played more than 3 minutes tonight.
Look at him.
He's all the way up to 11.
Look at Javonte.
Dude, if that kid develops a legit 3-point shot,
he's a problem.
Woo!
He's a legitimate problem because he's already got the defense and energy down.
Right, exactly.
He gets that part, like he can get you 6 to 9 points just off threes. Man. Jose.
Look at Lowry doing work on the O boards.
We're not tanking anymore. That's a question for Matt. It's not for me.
Jose, I'm sorry to burst your bubble, my friend, but they were never tanking. Should have been. Could have been.
But no.
Do you see this lineup that the Raptors put out here tonight?
And they're still playing.
Dave, you and I could be starting at center and power forward for the Raptors tonight.
We could, but we would end up like Udonis Haslem.
Well, I would definitely get ejected.
Yes. Well, that's yeah. That I can't argue that. Oh, look at him.
Who's older, you or UD?
Wait, that's a good question. Let me look. Let's see.
That dude still might be in the NBA as a player and older than you.
I'm older than him, slightly.
You're older than UD. Okay.
Very slightly.
But not by much?
Not by much at all. I'm proud of him, man. Like, he just sits on the bench and collects a nice check. Like,
his first game on the floor this season, within minutes, ejected. That is like legend status shit right there.
I have to see. I didn't see the clip you sent, so I have to look at it. But did Dwight get ejected too?
I don't think that Dwight got ejected.
Okay.
I will have to check. The alert, it was an ESPN alert that I got that was like, UD checks in, first time this season, promptly ejected.
It was like 2 minutes. Like, that's, I don't know. He had goals when he went in. He was like, I'm going in and I'm going to kick somebody out, period.
Man, the beatdown continues. You figured Sixers would make a comeback after that halftime score. It's 102-82 with just under 5 minutes to play.
Woo. Dwight didn't even get a T. He didn't even get a tech either? Wow. Then there must have been all Udonis. He must have had his plan from the beginning. Yeah.
UD was like inspired by that Rangers Capitals game from a few days ago. Where the entire Capitals front line on puck drop was like, all right.
I mean, when it dropped, when the second the puck dropped, it was like, you know why we here. We ain't even know hockey. You know why we here. That was great.
Oh, it was really entertaining.
Jack Tripper says, I'll come right out and say it, fellas. Just here tonight for the Kobe praise.
Hey, man.
Kobe, hey.
I'll give him some.
Yeah, man. He's been playing well.
Dunk was awesome.
Yeah. Wait, he dunked on somebody? I missed it.
Oh, right. I forgot.
I told you, I didn't see it.
Big Dave missed the first half or parts of it. Holy shit, dude. Kobe had a facial on Stanley Johnson.
Oh, I got to go see this now.
Dude, it was fierce.
Let's see what's going on here.
Kobe had Stacey losing his mind.
Oh.
Yeah, dude.
Oh, well.
Nasty.
All right.
Nasty.
Ooh, let me see in the slow motion here. All right, Kobe. Yeah. I like this.
Yeah, man.
Oh, yeah. I like that. That's all right.
Kobe's having himself a solid night against the Toronto J League. It's not even G League out there, man.
He said J League. Oh, give it to him. Go inside. Nice pass off of him. All right. Oh, man, that's a nice dunk.
Yeah.
Good job, Kobe. Very nice.
That is one of the best entry passes I've ever seen Kobe make.
It was pretty good. Like, he's getting better, man.
It seemed fairly straightforward, and it was. But plenty of time last year or this year, he has trouble even making those passes.
Seriously. Like, he's getting better. That's all you wanted to see this year was development of him getting better, him understanding the game more. We know you can shoot, but can you understand the game of basketball? And he said, oh, you know what? Maybe I should stop running so fast and slow down and kind of let things start coming to me a little bit more.
Right. And get the ball to my guys inside.
Yeah. And, again, having a guy like Vooch makes life a little simpler for you. Like, get it to the big dude that can score 30 points a game. Yeah, okay, I can do that.
Because you know what Vooch does when Kobe passes to him?
What's this?
He does this crazy thing. It's a new concept in the NBA. He catches the ball, which is something that our former starting center really had trouble grasping. He had trouble grasping the concept of catching basketballs, and he had trouble grasping basketballs. He
was so bad at it that John would question if the dude needed LASIK surgery or not. He was that bad at it. He was like, dude, this dude needs LASIK. Like, genuinely saying he needs the LASIK surgery because he was that bad at it.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. He was I'm so glad he's gone. I'm so happy I don't have to look at him no more. Man, you just don't know the joy I have. I got to hear about arguments with this dude no more. But, well, he's a better guy, He's a fine tool player. He can play both sides. He's a prototypical center. He's averaging 10 points and 8 rebounds. I don't care what that's all he's doing. He's never played 45 games.
Yeah.
He's injured now. Good God.
I mean, yeah, that was just a whole bowl full of crazy. When I was getting into it with the Daily Herald Bulls beat writer Mike McGraw on Twitter. I've had a few interactions with Mike. He seems to be a nice guy. I don't know him that well.
Okay.
But he had a tweet that was, I think I told you and John about it. The whole I tried to tell you guys it wasn't Jim Boylan's fault.
Wait, you got into him with that? About that?
Oh yeah. I immediately. And I didn't want to do like the quote tweet thing where you quote tweet and you're like, hey, this guy's a moron.
Yeah.
So I just responded to it, and then we had a big long thread going back and forth.
Okay.
But one of his things was like, well, his Wendell's career highs under Jim Boylan, and I was like, you're referring to the 10 and 8 career high? Is that what you're referring to? And he was like, yeah, Wendell was the best two-way player the Bulls had last season. And I was like, you mean the guy that you just said averaged 10.5 points and like would spend most nights not even looking at the basket? That guy, the best two-way player? Do you know what two-way player means?
Sure, they can run two ways. That's what it means. He can run up the court and down the court. 2 ways.
Right.
We watched him break Wendell. We watched him break him. He told him not to shoot, and he's just standing there like, I don't know what to do. We watched him break this young man's spirit. And he's like, see, told you. What are you talking about? Oh, man. Oh, by the way, you'll see it, Matt. It's coming.
Anticipation. Is this something Denzel does that's stupid? Oh, he's
not
on the floor.
No, he's not on the floor.
That's a shame. 9-point game?
I thought that'd bring you joy. Oh, my goodness. No, they can't lose this.
I mean, it's too late at this point. We've got 29 wins. They've got 27. I mean, if they come back and steal this from us, and they'll be at 28 wins, we'll be at 29.
They won't, Matt. It won't happen.
I know.
It's not
I know, Dave.
I'm sorry. I don't. I don't like stepping on your joy.
It's
go ahead
just,
and be sad.
especially because it's so fleeting these days.
That's true. It's a very good point.
Nikita, what's going on, girl? Welcome
Very good
in.
point.
Happy Thursday. Oh, and brother Dave has joined the chat.
Hey,
what's up, bro?
Can we talk about my joy that Chris Webber is no longer on TNT anymore? And I couldn't be more excited about this news.
Dude, like when I saw that tweet that you just texted us a few minutes ago, I was like, oh, this is like we already know this. We already heard this. It was like, yeah a week ago, it's reported that Chris Webber's on his way out. And I clicked on it. It was like, oh, no, it's official. He's gone. He's not even doing the playoffs this season.
Get him out of here. Oh, I couldn't watch the NBA because of him. I turned off games, Matt. I would hear him and say no. That's it. You know how much I love the NBA? I didn't want to watch it because he was talking. Amphibious.
Amphibious. I just my hope of all hopes is that Marv just follows him right out the door.
Yeah, I know you're ready for Marv to lead too. Marv knows
God.
it. Marv knows it's time. That's the great thing. He knows it's time. He knows.
The final straw on the camel's back for me was listening to Marv call the All-Star game. That dude didn't know what planet he was on, let alone what guys were out there playing.
Oh, man.
It was like that late in the first half of the All-Star game, Steph and Dame were going back and forth with their ridiculous bomb three-pointers, and it was awesome. And,
that was awesome.
And Marv was just like having a sandwich. I don't know, like he was completely ignoring what was going on in the game. It was crazy.
That stuff makes you more impressed by what Hubie Brown does.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it makes you way more impressed.
Because you would think, well, Hubie's just as ancient as Marv. Hubie's more ancient than Marv.
More ancient than Marv.
And I remember listening to Hubie Brown call games when I was a child.
Me too. Yes.
And the dude's still doing it.
Still doing it.
But you're a crypt keeper. And both fans know firsthand, man. The last couple of years of Neil were rough. They were rough. Like no lie, they were rough.
It was tough. He would forget what was going on there quite a few times. He definitely would.
You just want to be like, oh, Neil, okay. Second and third quarter, just like here's a pillow and a blanket. Like have a nap. Just have a nap.
You could just tell he didn't want to be there. He's just like, dude, I want to go home. You could just hear it. Like, I want to go home.
Well, and that was the funniest thing I heard in the saga of Neil, getting towards retirement was that the season prior to last season, Neil came to the Bulls and was like, I'm done. I want to retire. Yeah. And Jerry was just like, no.
Right.
He's like, no, you can't.
No. He's like, but no, I'm serious. I don't want to work anymore. No.
I'm sorry. Am I an indentured servant?
Right. I'm like, what did he pull out? Did he pull out like in my head? It was like a movie. Like he pulled out some secret file that he has on Neil Funk, and Neil just looked at it, and a tear came down his eye. He was like, "See you Monday." He walked out the room.
there's a Neil Funk dossier somewhere out there.
G14 classified, baby.
G14 classified.
G14 classified. That's how I have it in my head. That's exactly how I have it. Chris Webber commentary.
That's when Neil Funk kidnapped Chelsea Clinton. That's what's going on.
Did you hear that, Chelsea Clinton? Watching them do that scene over and over again was even more funny because he couldn't say Chelsea Clinton, and he kept boggling that line. And they kept doing it over and over and over again. It was so funny. It was hilarious.
Rush Hour outtakes are the best, man. The absolute best.
They're really good. Carol Lee Lowry says Chris Webber commentary cures insomnia. Yeah.
Boy, does it.
Yeah, not like him and Grant Hill. Grant Hill is the one. Grant Hill will put you to sleep.
Oh, what did you call Grant Hill in our text?
The walking Ambien.
The walking
It's Grant Hill, man. That's Grant Hill, bro. He will put you down, dog. Like, listen, I think Grant and Chris Webber are perfect for college. I think they're perfect for March Madness and those kind of games. They're perfect for that because that kind of, hey, young fella, you need to go and study this and read that. That's perfect for that.
Right.
Grown men in the NBA, I ain't trying to hear that, man. You don't know what's going on. Like hey, man, guys, I remember back in my day, when these fellas would read up, and I'm like, these are growing, making millions of dollars. They don't care anymore.
Right.
Like, talk about the game. Talk about the game.
And
I think they're perfect.
And that's why I thought that the show Open Court that they did for a few years was genius.
It was.
It's Ernie and then 80s and 90s NBA legends just sitting in a bunch of chairs in a semicircle.
Yeah.
Having different talking point discussions about 80s and 90s NBA. Yeah. And it was Grant Hill and Dennis Scott, Steve Kerr, Brett Barry, Isaiah Thomas, Reggie, Shaq, all these guys. And they all just like swap stories and talk about it's Steve Smith, sit and talk about 80s and 90s NBA basketball.
Yep.
And that show as a concept was just like, as an NBA junkie, I ate it up. I'll still go back and like watch old episodes on YouTube every once in a while when I feel like it.
Yeah.
But to have that kind of stuff as game commentary from a previous generation who was just like stubbornly ignoring what this generation of the NBA is doing, it's like, no, that's not color commentary.
I agree. I completely agree with you, man. You have to evolve with the times. And again, what makes Hubie Brown doing so amazing because he changes. If Hubie changes, why can't you? You don't ever hear Hubie talking about what was going on in 75. He just talks about the game of that day and how good these players are and, how much this guy's shooting from the field and how good he looks. Like, he just talks about the game that is happening. That is true, man. He does. I don't mind sometimes reminiscing, but not with the arrogance.
Right.
That's the problem I have with it. You know what I mean? Whether you believe or not about the style of play, if you like it or not today, like you can't dismiss it with your arrogance when you're talking about these guys on color commentary. I'm saying.
Right. Yeah.
Right. Open gym, go have at it. Oh my goodness. Oh, Zach, come on. Oh, there you go.
Chris pointing out that Stanley Johnson low-key has 35 tonight. Well,
who was the other dude that had like 40-something against the Bulls on Toronto the last time we played?
Bobby Boucher.
That was okay, yeah.
And he's not. Oh, he is playing. Nope, not playing tonight. He's got the night off. Bobby Boucher was given the night off by the Toronto Raptors. That's how hard they're tanking.
1975, no manscaping and heaps of coke.
The good old days.
Oh, Jack Tribble, you are a delight. You are a delight. Oh man, Stacey had it all spoiled. All other commentary pales by comparison. That's your from your brother. It's true.
I mean, Bulls fans, we all know we got a soft spot for Stacey. He is always charming, always entertaining.
True.
The cowardly Lowry saying it begs the question why Stacey hasn't gotten a national gig yet. And we're just talking about how some of the other players of Stacey's generation that do have the national gigs are maybe a little out of touch with today's game.
True.
I would say the same is true for Stacey.
Think so, really?
I don't like saying it because Stacey was a big part of my coming back into diehard Bulls fandom as opposed to just like the dark years. Like Stacey calling late 2000s, early 2010s Bulls basketball, I was all over it.
Okay.
Fawning over Stacey and all of the Staceyisms. When I listened to his basketball analysis in these games, I think some of it's a little dated.
Okay. I think, you know what? I think a lot of that comes from this team not being good. Because I think back to when he was calling the games when Derrick Rose was here and all of that. We didn't hear that stuff because he was too busy talking about how good this team was, how good the game was going on. But he's had nothing but time these past 3 years to just talk about what's happening, with this team. So, yeah, I hear that. I don't necessarily disagree with you.
When I see the Bulls playing a certain defensive style or system, and Stacy's calling guys out on replays and like telling me like, oh, this guy shouldn't have dropped this far. Like this center shouldn't have dropped this far when the Bulls are in drop coverage, or this guy should have come over from the weak side to help. Like, I can't remember what it was. Their game 2 nights ago, I think he reamed out either Kobe or Zach for not coming in to help from the weak side. But whichever one of them it was, they had Kyrie in the corner. And I was like, so what Stacey, are you asking them to just leave Kyrie open for a corner 3? Like, I think there are some elements to Stacey's analysis this season and the last couple of seasons that I'm like, is he slipping, or does he just very much disagree with what I think they should be doing defensively right now?
You're right. I just think he might be old school with it because he's still sharp as a tack. That man is a funny human being. Come on, Kobe. Oh. All right, this game's over. I like it. And we're still in it, right, Matt? Come on, mathematically.
Still in it.
Technically.
Swinging it. Zach.
Wendell Carter got hurt without playing.
Of course he did.
Just still that. Let's see what Wendell's stat line tonight. You want to guess? You want to guess? He played tonight. You want to guess it?
Oh, he did play tonight.
He did play tonight. Yes.
I thought you said he got hurt without playing.
He did. He was out the past few games because he got hurt. He wasn't playing when he got hurt.
Oh, okay.
And then he got hurt and he was out because he's.
Did he start tonight?
He started. Yes.
All right. I'm gonna say 26 minutes.
Okay.
6 points.
Oof.
on 2 of 6 from the field and a couple of free throws. 7 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 steal, 0 blocks.
Okay. Okay. 20. Yeah, you're close on the minutes. 27. Played 27
right there.
12 points, 11 rebounds.
Ooh.
No steals. 1 block. 4 of 11.
4 of 11,
which is not good. 4 of 11. 0 of 2 from 3, and 1 turnover and 3 fouls.
Wow.
Hey, huh?
Wow.
And of course they lost. But yeah, hey.
Oh yeah, of course.
Huh?
Okay, so I was in the ballpark as far as his efficacy from the field tonight. I said
you
2
were.
of 6.
Yeah.
And it was 4 of 11.
Yeah,
so
you're right there. Yeah.
I halved it.
I will definitely give you that. Yes, I will give you that for sure. Yes.
Wow, look at that. Zach LaVine, 200 made threes.
Wow.
As a Chicago Bull.
Wow.
First player in Bulls history to make 200 threes in a single season.
He's going to break down and cry when we go to the playoffs next year.
Oh, my gosh.
Like, just looking at what he hasn't done winning-wise is annoying to me now because he's so good, you know? It's annoying to me now. I've never won 4 games in a row. Like, that's annoying to me, dog. Like, and the mental like strength it must take to continue to keep up with stuff like that when your team is this bad and you're on a losing team all the time. Like that.
Yeah.
Man, he's just
win, bro. It's time.
It's time.
It's time to win.
A great comment from Tyler who said, I get my peaches in Georgia. I get my weed from California. I get my Bulls content from the source. Yeah, the Bulls outsiders. I mean, those are good places to get all 3 of those things.
Not bad. Not bad. You're doing all right.
Like, you can get pretty good weed here in Chicago. You don't have to go all the way to California.
Yeah, but
unless you live there, and then you know, in that case, more power to you.
Congratulations.
It's not quite to that level yet in Chicago like it is in Cali, where there's a dispensary on every block.
True indeed. It's on the way.
It's like you got your Starbucks, you got your Mickey D's, you got your dispensary. Yeah. Next block, same thing.
And the liquor store.
Right.
Liquor store is right there.
Oh, wow. Okay, well, 114-102 is the final. The Bulls are still alive. Yay! Thanks for hanging out with us. Thanks for watching the fourth quarter. This is the stretch four. We are the Bulls Outcasts. I'm Matt. That's Big Dave. Our buddy John, who we miss, is out in San Fran having a good time, not watching this NBA game. Big old air quotes. Big Dave, I saw the Raptors injury report tonight, or not tonight, earlier today. 8 scratches, including basically their real starting 5. And I got jealous because I thought, this is something the Bulls could have been doing for the last 7 or 8 games. Back when, we were still ahead of Toronto in the Tankathon standings. But they are doing that. We are not. And hey, parentheses, maybe I should shut my pessimistic mouth because the Bulls still have a chance to make the play-in after tonight's win, right?
Huzzah! We still got a chance to get in there, man. It's still alive, guys. You're saying there's a chance. You got a shot. Here's the problem. The next game you have to play.
What was all that 1 in a million, Doc?
Oh, go watch Dumb and Dumber after this, guys. Honestly, it's a good decision. But yeah, the problem is it's good to be this close, but the problem is who we playing next. Like you've got Milwaukee and the Nets next, and not just that you saw the last game we played where we just kind of hung with them until they said we're better than you. A Nets with James Harden added to it. Ew. Yeah. Disgusting. I mean, it's going to be tough, man. I mean, you got to beat Milwaukee. And again, the 2 teams who are vying for position right now at that number 2 seed in the East, man. So they're playing. Nobody's resting. Those guys are playing. It's going to be tough. And I believe the next game for Washington, is it Cleveland? I think who they have to play next?
Washington play the Cavs tomorrow night.
Yeah.
That's when it ends for real.
Agreed. That's when it should be over.
Although, devil's advocate to myself here, Dave, already ruled out for tomorrow night's game, no Bradley Beal.
Ooh.
And the Wizards, in this stretch of absences of Beal, they are 1-10. Maybe after last night's loss, 1-11 without Bradley Beal. As good as Westbrook has been playing, no Beal, that team don't win.
It's necessary when you got a guy that all he's going to do is score and drop you 50 points and scare you, as far as you can't double team or cheat off of anybody because you can't leave this dude single isolated because he's going to score. Like, he's just that good at it. So, yeah, like that's going to hurt your team. So, honestly, Matt, yeah, that's a little hope. See, he said devil advocate to himself, but that's what we call hope. Man, that's what that is. That's called a hope, sir. Deal with it.
We're not beating Brooklyn or Milwaukee.
I mean,
whether or not Washington beats Cleveland is a moot point.
I still want to see it.
So after last night, Washington crumbling to Atlanta and us beating this Raptors team that sent some 7th graders out there, we are two parts through a 6-part thing that needs to happen.
Okay.
They're 0-1 and we're 1-0.
Yes.
And we needed them to finish 0-3 and us to finish 3-0.
Right.
There are 4 more parts that need to happen, and I would be shocked if 2 of those things happen. I would be shocked if the Bulls win 1 more game, and I would be shocked if the Warriors don't beat Cleveland.
Yeah. No, you're right on both accounts. It would be a shock. It would be like, wow. But I'm holding out for the shock. I'm giving me all the shocks. What's wrong with you? What else we holding on to, Matt? They're not going to take. They're not giving you that. What else am I holding on to here? Let me go out here and have some hope that we can maybe beat this team and maybe it could come down to the last game of the season. Can I just get that? Can I just get it coming down to the last game of the season? That's when I just want all the excitement and all your meatheaddom all up in there. That's it. I just wanted to come down to the last game of the season. So if it does that, then I promise you I'll be satisfied. Do I think they're going to win these games? No, I don't. like I tell people all the time, my optimism is steeped in logic. And I don't see it happening of beating those two teams? They're just too good. My God, you have no answer for Kevin Durant. You have no answer for Giannis, Chris Middleton, like those kind of guys. Like, they're better than you. So yeah, they should win. Obviously, they should win. But I'm still gonna go out there and support and hope that the Bulls can pull it together and just get me to Sunday. Get me to Sunday.
Bless your heart.
Come on, man. Get on the train. Get on the train, baby. Come on. Trust in AK.
Colin said it's about momentum for next year. I
agree. I brought that point up to Matt last time when I talked about Phoenix. I brought that same point up. It will help. It will help your team, man, going in and having that chemistry. Yes, it will. Yes, Matt. Yeah, it helps your team more than them losing 7 straight games. It helps chemistry more than that. It really does. Winning helps. Like, I don't care. Winning helps team chemistry. It just does. That's what it does. Especially a team with new parts.
Top 4 pick.
It wouldn't hurt. And you still have a shot at it. I'm saying you're not removed from that either. You still have a shot at it, Matt. That's still there. It can happen.
Somebody had a comment about Lowry. Oh, Mike 303 said if only Lowry could play Toronto's G League squad all the time, he'd be worth $20 million. SMDH. Lowry, pretty efficient, 20 points on 7 of 10 tonight, and also chipped in 7 boards and 2 assists, and a steal and a block. Lowry, 7 of 10 from the field, 6 of 9 from downtown. Whoa. So that's kind of like, okay, when Lowry's knocking down his threes, he gives you that.
Yes.
He had 1 basket made inside the 3-point line
tonight. Good gosh. Yeah, that's true.
And as much as he pulled up his 3-point percentage, I think I saw earlier tonight, he is now shooting over 39% this season, which would be a career high for him if that percentage holds through these last couple of games.
Okay.
But even still, you're not shooting 6 of 9 from downtown every night.
No.
So when you're not doing that against, as Mike pointed out, a G League tanking team, what are you doing?
I just sat there and I was watching the third quarter, just like, he can't even start over Thad Young. Like, he can't even do that. Like, Daniel Tice went out and they're like, let's go with Thad. Like you're the third man up.
Before Tice arrived, Thad was starting over Lowry.
Correct. You are the third man up. And that is not good. That is not good at all. Third in line behind the 2 veterans. One of them has been in there for 14 years and you still can't get in over that. There's something wrong, man. And that just, it hurts. It hurts to say because it's true, but it's something wrong there. And I don't know if it can be fixed here.
Right.
You know?
I wanted to talk to you about this, Big Dave, because I don't think we talked about it in our thread with Bulldog and John today or yesterday when this stuff all was getting swirling around, but not that Matt brought it up in the comments. You seen that report that Zach won't look for the max if they go get better teammates for him this offseason. Did you see this, Dave?
I did see that report. Yes, I did.
So in case any of you missed it, basically it was a report from Joe Cowley, our guy, who is on the Bulls beat for the Chicago Sun-Times, who loves stirring the pot, and said, according to his sources, Zach is not as focused as perhaps he was at the beginning of this 2021 campaign on a big max extension and a big payday. And that maybe he would be willing to take a slight discount if it meant having more cash on hand for the Bulls to go get him better talent to play with. What did you think about that, Big Dave?
I think that first of all, one of my many rules that I've established about this organization is if I don't hear it from AK or Mark Eversley or Casey Johnson, then I put no stock in it. But that being said, to deal with this point as it is, I think there might be some truth to this. It would be this already is the best team Zach has been on, like in his career. I'm talking about his career. Okay, this is already the best team that he's been on. He's got an all-star that he just developed chemistry with. You know, he loves Kobe White back there. Kobe White raves about him. They rave about each other. There's a chemistry there. His best friend in the NBA is on this team, which is Thad Young. He's been here for a few years, and he is the man in Chicago. He is the number 1 guy in Chicago. Just got his first all-star appearance. Listen, he feels good about it. And what also lends validity to that is look at the contract he signed in the beginning. It's one of the best in the league, that the contract that he signed, man, for what the production of him has been.
From the organization's perspective, one of the best in the league.
Yes, correct.
Just to clarify.
Correct.
From Zach's perspective, dude's getting paid doo-doo.
Yes.
Like, they're going to make a documentary where, Scottie Pippen is going to look overpaid compared to what Zach LaVine is making right now.
True. Very true. He's definitely underpaid for the skill and what he's done. So yeah, for him, it's a low contract, but for this organization, it's an amazing contract. And for the NBA, it's an amazing contract, but he signed it. And so if he's comfortable with taking that kind of cut, I could see him saying, I'll give you a little bit back if you're telling me you could bring in some guys. Because honestly, listening to what these guys have said about this organization this year is stuff that you have never heard about this organization from the past. Even today, and I'm sure you saw what Thad Young said about the organization, how it feels like a family here, how the problem last year was they weren't listening to their players and saying things like that. You're not used to hearing guys rave about the front office. Maybe they rave about because one or two people.
The uncle raving about Antifa is now gone.
Yes, he's out. He's not here anymore. He can't hurt you, kids. It's okay. So to hear him say that kind of thing, and to know that that's Zach's best friend, like, I think there's something there. You know what I mean? It makes me say maybe there's something to what Callie is putting out here, because I can see Zach wanting to come back and try this one more time and see what team he's been with, which would be his fourth year here in Chicago. What team he's been with for 4 years? Can he get this team to a playoffs? Because it's one thing to win, but it's another thing to win with that Chicago on your jersey, man. It's a whole nother thing. And I think he knows that, and he's seen that, man. So I think it's something there. I do.
So it will be his fourth full if you don't count the partial post-ACL year.
Right, of course.
There are a couple of interesting facets to this. One of them being what you were just talking about with Thad's comments recently, which I totally agree with. That matters.
Mm-hmm.
That being not only Zach's vet teammate and good friend, but across the league, Thad Young is respected by coaches in this league, by his peers, his players, his teammates, and media. Everyone in this league respects Thad Young.
Mm-hmm.
For him to say that, it matters.
Yeah.
Compared to last year, when everybody was pointing at Chicago and saying, "Oh my God, that guy, really? That organization is dealing with that nonsense?"
Mm-hmm.
We were the laughingstock. Billy Donovan may have issues or weaknesses as a X's and O's coach, and we can talk about them for as long as he is this team's head coach.
Yes.
But Billy Donovan, as Thad expressed himself, is well liked in this locker room and makes his players feel like they are heard and cared about in ways that everybody always said. Jim clearly cares, and he cares about his guys, he cares about the team, but he didn't do the best job of showing it in the right ways. Billy Donovan, on the contrary.
Yes.
The other elements to this and the whole Zach LaVine and the contract thing, I find it curious that the one Bulls beat reporter who has been stomping his feet and parading around on Twitter and in every other column he writes this season saying, "Don't pay Zach LaVine the max. It will strip your organization's ability to build a team around a talent that is good but not good enough, and you're going to pay too much of your percentage of your cap to one player. Zach's good, but he's not max contract good." Cowley has been saying that with every breath he has this season.
That's very true.
He's the one who puts it out there. "No, my sources tell me Zach might be willing to take a little bit of a discount." What's up with that? Is Joe Cowley trying to nudge Zach in the right direction, or does he actually have the ins on somebody, if it's not Zach himself, in his inner circle, saying, "I might be open to that"? I don't know what to believe, because Joe Cowley has been spot on and right about things that he's been willing to print and say before everybody else has, long before everybody else has. And he has also been wrong about some stuff that he has been willing to throw out there.
Yes. No, very, very true. But I think what makes it even more believable what he's saying is the fact that he said he's willing to take a slight cut, because that sounds, logical. That makes sense. That makes sense when you say I'll take a slight pay cut, a little bit. You can take a little bit off of my piece of cake, and hand it off. That makes sense instead of him just saying he'll take a pay cut. You know what I mean? Like that sounds a little more logical and a little more like something a player in Zach's position might say and might be cool with, because you can't underestimate comfort. And I talked about that a lot. And Kendall Gill used to agree with me on this, which I was like, that's awesome. But he would agree with me on this when I said that. Like it matters when you're comfortable in your city, and it matters when you're comfortable with the team that you're playing with. Zach has never been around a coach like this. He's never had this good of a coach. He's never had this good of an organization. He's never had these good of players on his team. He's never had another all-star with him. So he's never had this before. So when you finally get it and you're like, okay, but now do you want to keep it or do you want to go get paid? I mean, it depends on how you feel about it. And for a guy like Zach, it just seems like comfort, and loyalty are important to him. It just feels like that way from just our interactions with him and just from what we've seen over these past few years. It just feels that way from Zach. Of course, we could be wrong, but this is just a feeling.
There are two ways to look at it, and one of them is feeling, and one of them is logic. Mm-hmm. As Bulls fans, we feel that we would want to believe that Zach cares about and wants to win here with this team, be the face of this franchise and this organization. And hey, if I'm making a couple mil less annually on this contract that I signed, and that allows you guys to bring me more talented teammates to play with, great. I'm on board. Discount it up. Let's go. I would love for that to be how Zach is thinking as a fan who wants this team to do well.
Yeah.
I also, as someone who thinks that Zach LaVine has already, in the past couple of seasons, been grossly underappreciated by this fan base and grossly underpaid by this organization. And look, they didn't lowball him. They said, go out, get yourself an offer, and we'll match it. And that was coming off of is Zach LaVine's ACL going to be an issue?
Very true.
He wasn't this caliber of a player when he signed that contract. So he has put the work in to make himself a player whose caliber makes his contract a joke. He's making $19 million and change this season. He's going to make $19 million change again next season. I saw today, and I think it was shout out to Bleacher Nation Bulls who had this in something I was reading about all this Zach stuff. Of the players who are top 10 in the league in scoring this season, of whom Zach is currently 8th in scoring points per game this season, everyone in that top 10 who is like Zach, at least been in the league 7 years player, next season when Zach's making less than 20, the next lowest paid player of that group of veterans who are scoring in that caliber of Zach LaVine scoring, 28.5. The lowest salary of that group of top 10 NBA scorers on Zach's threshold, 28.5. He is so underpaid already that when you talk about him taking a hometown discount, even though he's from the West Coast, to stay here and get better teammates to play with, it's like, dude's already giving you a discount.
Fair.
And the dude has earned a max contract.
Yeah.
There are countless players in this league making more money than Zach who ain't worth a third of what he's worth.
Correct.
And so if I'm Zach LaVine and his agent and I say, okay, we can sign 4 years, just over $100 million on a standard, extension this summer. Maybe we renegotiate with you some of the team's cap to bump those numbers up a little bit, or wait a year and instead of just over $100 million 4 years, you can get $155 million for 4 years. That difference of $50 million is more than 50% of his current contract that he's on.
It's a lot of money.
It's a lot of money, dude.
It's
a lot of money. And every time I want to convince myself, Zach will take a discount to get talent in here to win, I'm like, hey, idiot. What NBA player has ever done that? There is a very finite list of examples that you could think of.
That's true, and I hope Zach's a part of it. But you got to. I will stick to the rule, Matt. I will trust AK and Mark Eversley. I will trust them because if they show me anything, is that they know how to negotiate and they know how to talk and they know how to get guys here that you don't think are going to be here at all. The whole team that they constructed, as far as the big power players that we have, nobody thought they were going to get like at all, including the coach. Nobody thought that they were coming, but they're here. So I'm gonna have some trust in those guys in the front office and see, if they could talk them through. Now, I'm not going to be mad if they can't because of what you just said. That's $50 million, for God's sakes. That's a lot of money for a man that's about to get married too and start a family. So, yeah, that's a lot of money, all right? So I'm not going to be mad if he says, you know what, I think I want to take that. That makes sense. But also, I want to know how much is winning here important to him. How much is it playing with good teammates and getting that chemistry? Because it feels like it's important to him, so we'll see because it's going to come down to it, man. So this all season is going to be some fun stuff, man. It's going to be some fun stuff.
You know what we need is we need to get back in to that inner circle where we can be at media day, starting, for the 21-22 season and be like, hey, Zach, you haven't signed that extension yet. Your boys are here for you. If you want to bounce some ideas off of us, and we could talk contract.
Listen, I got $20 right now.
Come on,
you know what I'm saying?
You don't want to go. You don't want to go to a team that doesn't have outcasts or outsiders.
Why would you? What kind of team would you want to do that for? That's a
you gotta have the voice of the fans sticking up for you on television every night.
And we will, and we do because you're good and we like you and he likes us. He knows us by name. That was awesome. He knows us by name.
His dad watched our show.
He did. His dad watched our show. Oh my God, he watched our show, and we should have had a boy. I'm still mad we didn't get a boy. COVID. Ugh. But man, I have a question for you, and I wanted to give you the floor for this because I know what today is. Today being the birthday of Dennis Rodman, and I kind of want you to explain why you have such a deep love for a player like Dennis Rodman, because when you explained to me, it made all the sense in the world when you told us me. But I just kind of want you to expound on that. Why your love for Dennis Rodman is so great.
Gladly, Dave. As you know, I am a few years younger than you, and so I have just glimpses and bits and pieces of remembering the first three-peat years. I was born in 1987, so I was 4 years old, 5 years old, 6 years old when they were winning their first few titles. And I remember little bits and pieces of it. I remember the dude with the goggles, Horace Grant, and of course MJ, and of course Pip. But by the time 1996 rolled around, and I had gone through the excitement of, wait, MJ's playing baseball, but now he's back, and the heartbreak of losing that series to Orlando in 1995, that crushed me. I was just like understanding what it meant to be a Bulls fan and a sports fan, like passionately following the team, watching their games at night when my parents would let me, reading the recap columns in the newspaper the next day. And that Orlando loss in 95 just broke me. So with all of the hype about, 95, 96, this is it. MJ's going to transform his baseball body back to a basketball body. MJ's going to be out for blood to get revenge on losing in the playoffs, which he didn't do. I grew up, MJ doesn't lose. So when they lost, I was like, wait, what? No.
I don't know how to feel. Yeah. Right.
And then this dude walks into a press conference that I'm watching on TV, and he takes off his hat, and he's got a red dyed hair with a black bull on the back of his head. He's got red and black dyed fingernails, and it's like, Dennis Rodman. And I'm like, oh, that guy who, he used to be with the Bad Boy Pistons. I was still a child doing my NBA history work, It was like, I think that guy used to be a villain that we hated here in Chicago. And then he went to San Antonio. It was misunderstood there, and nobody got him. And so we just traded with Purdue, and we got this guy, and this guy's a Bull now? From the moment he walked into that press conference with that Bulls hairdo, anytime he opened his mouth, anytime he showed up with a different hairstyle, anytime he had a hilarious quote when somebody actually got him to speak, But more than all of that, every night when I watched him play on the floor in that first 95-96 season, I was hooked. Diving around the floor, diving for loose balls, grabbing 20-plus rebounds a night, playing some of the best, most aggressive and intense defense I'd ever seen anybody play on a basketball court. I was like, that's my guy. Never the most talented athlete when I was growing up. So, like, I marveled at MJ, but I related more to Rodman. Because I was like, this dude's just scrapping. He's like, I'll get the loose ball. I'll dive on the floor. I'll scrape my knees and my elbows. Oh, and if I happen to disagree with this particular call, I'm going to tell that ref to fuck himself and then that fan to fuck themselves. And I'm going to tear my shirt off and I'm going to walk down the tunnel and say, fuck y'all, I'm out for tonight. And I ate that up. Because as you know, I'm a fairly dramatic guy myself.
A little bit. little bit.
That's what it is, man. I mean, it was love. That first season, 95-96, I fell in love with Dennis Rodman.
Yeah, you and the entire city. Like for me, like you said, for me, I remember him with the Pistons. So I had a hatred for Dennis Rodman. Like, I couldn't stand him. Like, I hated everybody from Detroit on that team. I couldn't stand none of them. But the second he got here, and I mean the second he signed with the Bulls, at that press conference, it was all gone for me. I was good. I was like, all right, he's on my team now. I forget it. You know what I mean? Like, you come do it. My older brother is not like that. My older brother, you know, who was more grown at that time,
right?
Still to this day has hate in his heart for one Dennis Rodman, for him pushing Scottie Pippen, for the way he was treating the Bulls. He still has an actual issue with it. I completely don't, because I was like, you're on my team. I mean, what am I supposed to think when you come in, you dye your hair, like you say you got a bull on the back of your head? What do you want me to do? You know what I mean? Like, you're like, guys, I'm here, I'm with you. And people always forget, because I hate when people try to say, man, they got Dennis Rodman. Look at the team they built. First of all, if you're telling me making you a super team by just getting the best rebounder in the game, you know what I'm saying, on your team, come on now. Second of all, nobody wanted Dennis Rodman because he was an issue. He was a problem. There's a reason why we were able to trade our friend Will Purdue to San Antonio to get him.
No disrespect for Will, who are watching on postgame right now.
Right.
We love our pal Will Purdue. They got Dennis Rodman for him.
For him. Okay? That's who you got for him, man. Is Dennis Rodman, to let you know where the NBA and the league and people in the organizations thought about him at that point in time. So, and it was a question. Of course, like when he gets there, Phil Jackson's like, okay, first thing, you got to go apologize to Scottie Pippen. Like, he had stuff he had to do. You know, he had to clean up. He had to prove things to Jordan. He had to prove things to Scottie. He had to prove things to the organization. And last but not least, he had to prove things to the fans. So he had a lot he had to prove. And I mean, from game one, like you said, Matt, he was out to prove it and showed it every night. You couldn't deny that man's hustle, that heart, and I mean the agitation that I mean he would get under the skin of those other players, man. It was beautiful to watch that mental dominance that he had over anybody he was going against. And I'm gonna get you 25 rebounds and maybe hit a three to send the crowd into a frenzy. Also,
the Dennis just like casual trot back down the court after hitting a three. God, I love that shit.
Yo, look at Colin. Colin says, man, as a white guy from the Midwest, I dyed my hair because of Dennis, not because of Eminem.
Dude, thank you, Colin. Yes. When I saw that, I went up to my parents and I was like, can I dye my hair like that? And they were like, no. They're like, if you show up to school like that, they will think you have terrible parents.
Or they'll think you're a big Bulls fan. They're like, they'll think you're just large.
So, I didn't talk him into that, but what I did talk him into was letting me get his autobiography, Bad As I Want to Be, where he's standing butt-ass naked with a basketball over his dick on the cover of the book. And like, the back cover is him naked on a Harley. And I'm like, I want that book. I want that book. And my parents were like, God, like, you're not much of a reader. We're trying to get you to read. This is the book you want to read? And I was like, yeah.
Yes. I mean, it's perfect because what can your parents say? Okay, fine. It's a solid compromise and you're doing something we want you to do. We want you to read. Like it's what can you say? You got to go get them a copy. Like you had to go get them a book.
They didn't put the whole the black and white explicit like parental warning on books like they did on CDs back then when we were buying CDs.
True.
It should have had one. Let me tell you. I was reading that book as a 10-year-old, and I was learning all kinds of things.
And this is when the boys, the bass in Best Boys came, was after reading that book. That's when the bass dropped and he started to grow.
I read Rodman's biography, and then I went through puberty the next day.
It's walked down. Hello, father. What?
Oh, goodness. Yeah,
That's
I
awesome,
mean,
man.
I always love reminiscing about Dennis in those days. That's why the doc was so awesome last year.
Yeah, true.
And it's no coincidence that that one of my other favorite all-time Bulls is Joakim. And the amount of through lines and similarities that I saw with those dudes on the court and the interaction and engagement they had with fans off the court, or even when they were on the court and the nearest fans nearest to the court, Joakim and Rodman high-fiving fans. I mean, like, that level of interactivity and connectivity between a dude who is bleeding out there on the court, giving it his all, and knowing that it means a lot to the people who are there to watch him do it. Dennis and Joakim have always been those two for me. Always with this team.
Agreed, man. Agreed. He never cheated you. Neither one of those guys ever cheated you, man. That was great. It was great.
Hey, good news. Only 2 games left, Dave.
Just it, man. 2 more until Felicio and Denzel out of here.
Bye-bye, Denzel.
Peace.
Bye-bye.
Gone.
And how nice of the NBA that we get a Saturday nooner matinee tip-off.
Yeah.
And then Sunday at 8 p.m. Like, really?
Like,
you couldn't have, flip those? Like, 8 o'clock Saturday, noon Sunday? Let's just, ram all this out real quick.
Seriously.
That would be nuts, though, if you had to play an 8 p.m. tip-off Saturday and then a noon on Sunday.
Right. That would be like, oh, my God.
I just figured out why it wasn't that way. And it's the other way.
He talked himself into the logic. I understand.
Oh, well, John is enjoying the West Coast, hopefully, but me and my guy, Big Dave, we will be here Saturday, right?
Yes, we will.
To see if we can, who knows, we have to wait and see what the Wizards do tomorrow night. If the Wizards choke and don't beat Cleveland, Saturday might be really interesting.
And Daniel Gafford had 16 and 4 last game. Just going to say,
Of course. Did the Wizards close out that game? Gafford's on the floor late instead of when? Maybe.
Yeah. Why was he on the floor? Like, that make no sense. Nope. Not my team.
Just give a couple of self-righteous, gift tweets about Gafford, and we'll feel better about it.
Colin says, do we see outsider shows in the off season? Please say yes. We'll be here for the playoffs.
Baby.
We will be doing playoff stuff, man. We will definitely be doing playoff stuff for sure.
As the legend Pitbull once said, ooh, playoffs. Ooh, playoffs. We'll be here. For my guy, Big Dave, thanks for hanging out with us tonight. Appreciate y'all. Check out the BAWL on Bulls podcast feed to get these shows in podcast form. Subscribe to BAWL on Bulls on YouTube. Find us there as well.